of soul.
This is Bass Talk Live. Your host, Mark Jeffries and Matt Pangrack. BTL is brought to you by Lowrance, Lose, Strike King Lures, Bass Cat Boats, Ducket Fishing, Spro, AFCO, Big Bite Baits, Sunline, and TH Marine. BTL coming at you. Good Thursday, everybody. Welcome once again to another edition of BTL Bass Talk Live, where we're going to talk bass fishing and anything else that we want to talk about. Matthew, good show today. We're going to have John Cox on live via Skype here in about 15, 20 minutes. But there were packages arriving at the
box.
BTL studio.
We got a box from our long-time listener, Maynard.
Yeah.
Is he the retired teacher?
Yes.
And he also has some really cool baits.
He does.
So we've been, if you've been watching BTL recently over the past month or so, Jeffries has gotten on a little kick of talking to some legends.
Yeah.
I guess this year we've had Jimmy Houston in studio. We've talked to
David
Fritz, Larry Nixon.
Yeah.
I mean, Denny Brower.
Some good ones.
Well, what do all those things have in common? All those guys were fishing in the 80s and 90s and 70s.
Yeah.
And he sent some of the stuff they used in their pride.
Vintage stuff.
So he actually he did a really cool thing here where he actually like kind of stapled little notes to each one. So
yeah. Do I need to cue up that camera so where you can show people some of the cool things he sent?
Yeah.
All right.
Now the first one is he sent an OG Wigglewort, and he put my name on it, so you wouldn't steal it from me because you have more. But
all right.
There you go in a kind of a brown craw pattern. Yes, it is stamped Wigglewort on the bottom of it.
It is an original.
It is an original. So that one will get fished.
Yeah.
Then, knowing your affinity for the Topwater Lures, I don't know. I'm not sure what these are.
What do you mean?
It says Floyd's Baits on the buzzer, but like an original, like an old school buzz bait. See that right there? With all sorts of different ways it was made. I'm sure there's a note in there about it that I didn't read because that one was for you. Remember the Strike King crankbait? Was it who was talking about the old Strike King crankbaits?
Yeah.
There's one right there. That looks nothing like a 6XD or a Series 5, does it? Look how old that is an old school Strike King that he sent.
That's very nice.
A lot of these are going to go on the what is that called? The mantle behind. What are these things? What are these things called where we have all of our swag, the rack behind? Now, here's an in the package old school pose. Remember from David Fritz?
Yeah.
He sent that. It's actually dated on the back. It says Browning 1992. Pose Lure Company in Utah. Did you know Pose was out of Utah?
I did not.
That's what it says. And it was made in Mexico at the time.
Yeah.
Interesting. This is the RC 1. Series 1900, a 2 to 5 foot die. This is the Rick Clun special. This is the original RC1.
Hang on.
How cool is that?
That's really cool.
Yeah. We're getting to the good stuff here. Then there's some blades in here. Blades in here that he marked. He said, Mark, this was an original Redman spinnerbait given to me by Jimmy in the late 70s or early 80s. Don't worry, I still have one left. Enjoy.
Wow.
So remember Jimmy was in and we were talking about the OG spinnerbait. Yeah. And that's a note on it. There it is right there. The hammered gold Colorado single blade flat rubber. The skirt on this is like the Lunker Lure buzz baits. Now, this is what I found ironic. So Christie comes out with the Covert series, right?
Yeah.
Booyah. Everyone in Oklahoma loses their minds. Oh my God, he painted the head of the spinnerbait orange and red, and that's a secret that they've been doing. This sucker's from the 70s, and it's got a red head on it, Mark.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
There's another spinnerbait in here. This is the spinnerbait that Bill Norman Lures came out with when they were sponsoring Jimmy early in his pro career. Spinnerbait made from... I can't read that word. I've never been good. Here's the thing. This is interesting. I've never been able to write cursive well at all.
Yeah, me neither.
And I cannot read cursive. And here's the other thing. I can't write in lowercase. I write in all uppercase.
That's interesting. I never noticed.
And not cursive.
Interesting.
So here's another really cool spinnerbait. The skirts are really good. That's a nice little compact spinnerbait, dude.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's a
Throw it up there. There you go. All right, very nice.
another kind of copper gold. I think it used to be gold. It's kind of fading a little bit. And then we've got one more. This is a Strike King. He said, throw this in the back of a creek or alongside of a laydown. It's the Strike King Spent Scout. The Scout, I remember that. It's got a little bitty metal lip on it. It actually looks, and it's got a thing on the tail. It looks like it's got a nice, hear that rattle?
Yeah.
It's got that. It kind of looks I'm trying to think. It's like a wake bait square bill rattle. No, it looks like nothing else. It's got a metal lip on it though. The only baits that I have with the metal lip are some of the original mud bugs.
Oh yeah.
Fred Abergast.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's a heck of a box right there, Maynard.
Oh, and this too.
Oh yeah, and a book.
Yeah.
How have you not ever read the?
It's cool. There's It's two books in one.
I saw that. Bobby
What a Night, and then Nightmares with a K.
Yeah.
So I will partake. You know the last book I read? It's been a while. Last book I read was Wayne Gretzky's biography. It was the last one.
I haven't read that one.
Yeah.
You got a Wayne Gretzky autographed picture up there.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, let's just get way off topic here. So on Instagram, I came across I'm getting on YouTube. It said something sounds weird this morning. You got everything figured out?
Yeah.
We good audio wise?
Something sounds weird.
I don't know whether we sound weird or something in the audio sounds weird because I have the YouTube feed pulled up.
Huh. I don't know.
You're not getting anything on?
No.
Okay. Where was I going with this? Oh,
do we sound okay, everybody?
On Instagram, I went down this. Oh, sounds good to everyone else here.
Okay.
On Instagram, I went down this wormhole where there's people posting vintage hockey cards. Vintage. I always wondered. I'm way off topic. I should have centered myself. I always wondered when I would be old enough to where they would have radio stations that specialized in the music when I was growing up. Like my dad listened to the 60s, the 50s, the stuff like the Everly Brothers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, they have that now, but now the hockey cards that I collected in the early 90s through the 90s are vintage. And I hadn't thought, I've got thousands of them at home organized. I've got like 300 Gretzky cards. This is what reminded me of this. And so this Instagram, all it does is it posts old vintage hockey cards. Pictures of them. So then I went and I started looking up the values of all my old hockey cards. The bottom has dropped out of the card market, Mark. They're not worth anything anymore.
Really? Nothing.
No, like you could get
pennies on the
for
dollar.
Like 50 cents now.
Wow. Pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
Huh.
But there is a correlation there because I was thinking of the old hockey cards that you hold on for 30 years, and there were some, and then there's wiggle warts and old lures in there that retain their value and get more valuable with age. But there's a lot more people who collected Wayne Gretzky cards in the 90s apparently than there were wiggle warts and original RC Pose in the 80s.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that is bottoming out here lately.
Yeah.
So, man, people are wanting to know already. You going to mention it? You going to talk about it?
The Crete?
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention the results. We could talk about the results tomorrow because
Well, not tomorrow, on Monday.
Or on Monday.
Yeah.
I need to look at the I need to pull up the channel and see if it's up yet. Hold on. Oh, it's out there.
Yeah, people are already saying they're watching it.
Man, listening to us.
Yeah.
That's why I said we should have put it out immediately after the show. But the Jeff Crete one-on-one is out and is live. And only 51 people have seen it in the last 15 minutes. I'm not going to spoil what happened in it, but it was a very close match.
Yeah.
And Crete took it very seriously on Lake Murray.
As he should.
His home body of water. So go to the Bass Talk Live YouTube channel. Create a Google account, subscribe to it, and then you can get all of this stuff through it. It's a lot easier that way. You can comment, like, share. And then you can, it'll be up on the BTL channel, or you can go under the channels tab, or the playlist tab, Panger's videos, and it's number 7. Christy's number 5. So I've got Crete and Christy out there, done now.
Yeah. Next up,
Mark Jeffries, our one-on-one that we had.
we're not going to say a
Lake
word.
10 killer.
0-7, people.
There's more fish catching, I will say, in
There's a lot of
the
fish
one-on-one between me and Mark Jeffries than there were between me and Christy and me and Crete combined.
A lot of fish catching.
So depending on the feedback that we get with this one, with the one that I do with you, I'll keep going down the hit list and seeing what I can scrounge up during the lack of tournament fishing.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to touch on this real quick. I mentioned Tuesday, about the ESPN documentary, the Michael Jordan, The Last Dance. There's a situation in there with Scottie Pippen, of which he holds out on getting surgery because he signed a 7-year, $18 million deal. And he was probably the number 2 or 3 player in the league by the time that deal got down to the final year of his contract. But there were reasons that he signed this deal. Anyway, there was a lot of speculation out there that he delayed his surgery because he was pissed off at management and he wanted to renegotiate his contract. I'm going to spin this back to bass fishing. With some of the superstars out there in the sport, and forget about what's going on. This is in normal times right now. With some of the superstars in the game, yes, they do sign contracts, but normally they're not going to sign a 7-year contract. The longest contract that I've ever heard somebody signing is a 3-year deal. That's the longest deal I've ever heard anybody. Now,
in fishing?
In fishing.
I've heard of a 5.
You have heard of, okay, we'll go with 5 then. That's even better. Okay, let's use 5 as the example.
Are there no guys who've had lifetime contracts or they made a big deal out of it?
There's some here, handshake, yeah. You're with me for life.
Okay, let's go with 3 because 3.
I like 5.
You like 5? I've heard of 5 because that gives you some stability in the future.
I like 5. All right. Do you think that the superstars in the game that might have a 5-year contract, all of a sudden they win a Red Crest, they win a Bassmaster Classic, they also win in 5 years 4 Elite Series events, or they win a Red Crest and they win 5 MLF events?
I see where you're going here, I think.
All right.
This is intriguing to me.
Yeah. Does this game have the legs and the power from an angler standpoint to be able to do something very similar to what Scottie Pippen did and say, look, I'm not running your boat unless we renegotiate my contract? Because this guy is an absolute superstar, winning everything, the man in the game. We need to renegotiate.
You're talking about, let's use this as an example. Kevin Van Dam, 2004. Right? Signs a 5-year contract.
Oh, I see
that runs through 2009.
Yeah.
During that time, he wins 4 Anglers of the Year, 2 Bassmaster Classics, 7 tournaments.
Yeah.
Those are roughly the stats. They could
be
wrong there. But I know, he won the 5 Pittsburgh. He won an
yeah.
Well, no, because he won like the 2010.
That was
classic,
the whole. He won Kentucky
the 10.
Lake and all that.
Yeah, but that's his run. He gets a classic in there.
Run.
He gets all these Angler of the Years. He wins multiple back-to-back crazy tournaments. That's how he ESPYs, the whole 9 yards during that.
The man.
So he would go to, well, at the time, I guess it would be Johnny Morris, because he's in a Nitro,
Yeah.
and say, Johnny, I know I signed this in 2004, but I mean, I was good then. Like, I was the man, but now I'm really the man.
Yeah.
And the cash you were paying me then is not equitable. We got 3 years left of
The
this.
Nitro boats are flying off the showroom
Yeah,
floors.
I'm 3 years in. I got another 2 years on this. I think I'm going to be out of an Illumicraft until you up the ante here a little bit. So basically,
Is he going to go Scottie Pippen?
I don't know if that's ever happened.
I say no. I just don't
No.
think it's there. This is how you can eliminate that situation in this game, and I've talked about it before, is incentives. You build your contract, and guys, I'm telling you right now from an angler standpoint, there's going to be a lot of renegotiation going on right now because of this crisis. And if you're negotiating your agreement for 2021, please, I am advising you. I am throwing advice out there. Load up that contract with incentives.
Incentives, and if you design baits, is a royalty not a pretty good safeguard?
Yes.
Because I mean, I know of guys who haven't been with companies for 5, 6, 7, 8 years who are still getting mailbox money from that.
Yeah.
So incentives and royalties are the holy grail of fishing contracts.
Agree 100%.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yes, 100%.
I mean,
yeah.
it totally eliminates any kind of Scottie Pippen situation, and you are rewarded based upon your performance. Now, I'm not saying, okay, you might have a monthly stipend coming in or a monthly payment. But guys, if you have success, you need to build that into your agreements. And I'm telling you, folks, there are a lot of contracts that are going to be both renegotiated right now because of the situation, but more importantly, the contracts that are going to be put together for 2021, guys, girls, do yourself a favor. Build those contracts to where if you perform, you're going to get paid.
Totally agree.
Then there's no Scottie Pippen situation. It was interesting about Jordan's comments, too, about Scottie Pippen. Said that he was selfish. Said, he could have had his surgery in the summer, but he chose not to because of the situation that he had with the general manager and all that. I'm trying to throw out some advice that I think in this time, all right, going into 2021 and beyond, you guys need to get rewarded based upon your performance because performance sells. Now, having said that, come on. I know that there are guys out there that they could sell snow to an Eskimo, as they say.
Right.
All right. And they're just good guys. They're great salesmen. I get it. All right. It's up to the companies to take care of those guys. But if you are a professional angler, professional at the highest level, you should be compensated based upon your performance.
I know contracts in the past. I don't know if they exist anymore, but certain boat companies, like if you fished out of that boat and you had like a pro deal on it.
Yeah.
And a lot of those deals are you get it through the dealer, you run it for the year, and then you sell it at the end of that year. Typically, let's say you'll get your trolling motor, your poles, you have 4 poles, your electronics deeply discounted or free. Then you'll get the hull, the boat at whatever, 20, 25% off. So you've got 70, 80,000 in a rig that you have maybe 40,000 in, 30, 40,000, and then you sell it for 60 at the end of that year.
Yeah.
And then you net the 20,000.
Yep.
If you don't sell it, you then start making payments on it, whoever you are through the dealer.
Yeah.
And I do know of boat deals where you would get to, if you made the classic, get to keep that boat then.
Yeah.
So then you wouldn't have to start making payments on it. So basically, you would get the boat for making the classic, and that was kind of your, I guess, reward at the end of the year for that.
Now, obviously, the monthly stipend, it should be lower, all right, instead of getting the money up front. In my opinion, I'm a firm believer in reward comes through success, right? Compensation through success. But yeah, you got to have the monthly stipend. And Easy D made the comment on the Instagram. Dude, I'm 100% behind that. And that's where I agree with some of the things that have been said about Scottie Pippen. Hey, dude, you signed the contract. Why are you renegotiating? Why does anybody renegotiate it when you sign the contract?
There's different. Here's the deal with sponsorships. There's different. The point of a sponsorship, right, Mark, is I'm going to compensate you, and so you are going to sell me more product. You're going to promote the product. The bottom line is, does it sell more product? So if your strategy as a sponsored angler is to sell more product for that company through your performance, then yes, I understand. I believe a performance-based contract is applicable in that.
Yes.
However, let's say you're an angler who kind of catches them, maybe doesn't catch them that well, but you're selling a lot more product through it, then a performance-based contract doesn't make sense.
That's what I said. Did you see the differentiation? If you're a salesman and you're working for this company and you're selling product, but you're not catching them, then that contract needs to be structured based upon the characteristics of who you're sponsoring.
It's very individualistic sponsorship. So let's use Gerald Swindle as an example. Yeah. Let's say Gerald Swindle has a win-laden contract where he gets minimal money, but every time he wins, he gets paid. Yeah. That sucker ain't making no money. He's won one time. But Gerald Swindle sells a ton of products and consistency.
I agree.
A ton of top tens, a ton of second, third, fourths, fifths. I mean, people say it, and half of Alabama goes out and buys it.
But it's tiered structure.
But that's what I'm saying, to where if you do a performance-based for that, I mean,
it's got to be tiered.
Yeah.
It's tiered.
I think it's a case-by-case deal. I like to renegotiate, like if you have it with your sponsor's like, look, we're paying you this money. You haven't caught jack in 3 years. We would like some of it back, please.
It goes both ways. It frustrates the heck out of me, especially it seems like pro football players are the worst on this, where they hold out and they're sitting out. I'm like, dude, the ink is dry. Finish your commitment, then negotiate a new contract. So you and I both know, Matthew, there's going to be some very, very challenging times for professional anglers. Negotiations are going to take place. And with the outcome of the challenge that we are battling right now with what's taking place in the world, I think 2021 and the remainder of this year is going to be an enormous challenge for not only the top-tiered guys, but also the middle and lower-tiered guys also, especially when it comes to those 2021 contracts.
I agree.
Agree?
Yep.
So, have you seen it at all? You haven't watched it at all, the documentary?
No.
Part 3 and 4 is...
What channel is it on?
It's on ESPN.
Oh, no. Remember, I don't get ESPN.
You don't have ESPN?
Can you watch it on demand?
I think so. I don't know. I'll find out for you. All right, we're going to take a break. Here on a Thursday, come back with John Cox. Everybody stay tuned.
The search for the best combination of value and performance is over. It ends with Elite TI2. From high-res views of active imaging to mapping in real time with Genesis Live, the high-powered performance of Elite TI2 continues to dominate. And now, wirelessly share sonar waypoints and routes between TI2 displays. Get up to $200 cash back when you purchase a Lowrance Elite TI2 or Hook Reveal display. Visit Lowrance.com/offers for details.
Yeah, you care about gear ratios, inches per turn, and ball bearings, but most importantly, you want reliability and dependability in the equipment you use. Luz doesn't cut corners when it comes to the gear they build. The new Speed Spool LFS is the best $99 reel in the market. Go see for yourself.
We've paired one of the most iconic hulls in the history of bass boats with a proven lineup of trusted accessories. We're bringing you best-in-class value and performance, leaving others in your wake. Turnkey value, turnkey performance. The Pantera 2 is an overachiever in the 19-foot category. Once you hit the throttle, you'll feel the rush, and there's no looking back.
Kevin, what are you doing here?
Oh, I'm just filling in for Billy.
I need 660 shad crankbaits in the Series 5 model.
We're out.
You're not out. You got all kinds of them right there.
We're out.
Kevin, I need 6.
Have a lollipop.
I do not want a lollipop.
Have a lollipop.
Do you have it in sexy shad color?
At Duckett Fishing, we have assembled the top pros in the country to help us design rods to give you a competitive advantage. Castability, strength, durability, action, sensitivity, weight and balance, and consistency. Combine that with the best warranty in the industry, and you have rods that are pro-driven.
Duckett Fishing, pro-driven.
I want to share with you a new product we got coming out from Sunline. This is the FC leader size spools that we have now. We've gotten a lot of requests for this. A lot of you guys use fluorocarbon for leaders only, myself included. And one of the problems you have is when you have a 200-yard spool, that might last you 2, 3, 4 years. You might even lose it before you even get done with the spool. So we've gone to a little smaller spool. These are 50-yard spool sizes. You know, that way you're not holding your line on forever. You can keep your line fresh, use it when you can. Stores real easily in the boat. We got all of our popular line sizes that you're used to with our Sniper from 5 to 14 pound. If you guys are looking for a line that you're only tying for a leader, go check out Sunline FC Leader 100% fluorocarbon and give it a try.
All right, we are back on a Thursday. We're going to go to our guest here just in a few minutes. I want to let everybody know tomorrow will not be a best of, Matthew. I did an interview with Brent ANGLER yesterday, and some very interesting comments, some stuff I didn't even know about what was going on in the state of California. Had no idea. And Brent kind of fills everyone in on some of the challenges that they are going through from a fishing standpoint out on the West Coast. Also, he filmed a bank fishing feature, I guess, which was really cool because bank fishing is the only thing that you can do in California right now.
I would not think that he would be willing to do that because that would get the soles of his Chuck Taylors muddy.
Yeah. So
and it'd be hard to walk the bank in those jeans.
I don't know.
Maybe we got him in some tennis shoes and some athletic gear.
Yeah, that's going to be posted tomorrow morning. So instead of best of, we'll have the Brent ANGLER interview tomorrow. And then next week, good week next week. We're going to kick off the week Monday, Randy Blockett. Tuesday, Tim Horton is going to be on, and I believe he's going to be live from the water is what we're working on that. He has been doing a ton of content just about every single day being on the water. So I think Tuesday we're going to have Tim Horton on live from the water. And then Wednesday, first time in a long time, we're going to have Boyd Duckett on live via Skype to get his thoughts on so many of the challenges that Major League Fishing is going through with this situation. So I think it's been 2-3 months since Boyd's been on. It's been a while, yeah. It's been a while. So Wednesday, and then I'm still working on stuff for Thursday and Friday next week. So another jam week for us, and greatly appreciate everybody watching and listening. So let's go to our guest, and from what I understand, we're going to get answers.
He's the man who's fished the most tournaments in 2020.
He is. And I think we will get the truth now. I think that he was actually going to try and pull off what we suggested.
What did he get? He got 3 FLW Pro Circuits in, right?
Yeah.
He got 2 Elite Series in, right?
Yes.
And he was in the Classic, right?
Yes.
So he's fished,
I think that's right.
6 events this year.
All right, let's bring him in. Is that right, John? 6 events?
Yeah, I think so. I think we got 1 Elite in, the Classic, and 3 FLWs, I think.
So that's 5.
5. Yeah, we got 5.
Oh, they've only had one elite?
Yeah.
I thought they had.
Yeah.
No, remember, some guys have only fished 2 days.
That's right. So 5.
Yeah.
So you still fished almost like half a season for a normal guy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm so glad that I at least got that, and I feel so bad for some of them guys. Like you said, that some of the elite guys only got to fish 2 days so far this year.
And you've won more money than most of the guys win in a year already. So out of everybody that's set up, you fished the most, you won the most money. So you're actually one of
except Cherry.
Well, yeah, except Hank Cherry, but you're one of 3 or 4 guys who are I'm in decent shape here.
yeah, but the bad part is I'm stuck at home, so I've been redoing all kinds of stuff. So I'm just I about spent all the money already.
You got both boats at home?
Yeah, I got all the boats at the house, and I've been just so many projects around here. It's just crazy. Been at Lowe's almost every day.
All right, we want to know, man. If everything would have worked out, were you going to try and pull off 2 tournaments at the same time?
I really looked into it, after you guys brought it up and stuff. And I, with the time change and everything, there was actually a guy that I could ride in the helicopter from Chick to Martin. And it wasn't that, it was only like $800, to do that. So, I mean, it was actually, I was looking into it, and man, I'm glad it worked out the way it did, because man, I don't know if I could have pulled it off. I mean, I got to Martin, and it was like I struggled so bad at Martin just to get a check, and I don't know. It would have been fun trying for sure.
If you hadn't listened to the show, what the deal was they rescheduled Lake Chickamauga, and it was originally going to be on top of Lake Martin, or no? What was it? Yeah, on top of Lake Martin, and there was a time change. John Cox, the only angler fishing both the FLW Pro Circuit and the Bassmaster Elite Series, was going to try to pull off fishing the morning at Chickamauga, hopping in a helicopter, driving to Lake Martin, and fishing the afternoon. Did you talk to any of the tournament directors about it? This isn't going to happen now, so you can let the cat out of the bag.
No, I didn't get to that point. I mean, I was so close to calling and trying to work it out, because all I'd have to do is weigh in early at Chick. And then it would have been able to do it, and I would have been able to weigh in normal time at Martin. But man, I'm telling you, I don't know, it was so close to pulling the trigger on that one.
So what the heck is I made a joke about it yesterday. I said there's one man who's ripped up more calendars and wrote more calendars than anyone this year, and it has to be you. I mean, this has to be maddening, not knowing now what you're going to fish, what's rescheduled, what it's rescheduled, it's got to be chaos in your life, because you've got 6 or 7 tournaments that are going to be rescheduled and aren't exactly sure when.
Right. And it looked like I was going to be able to make them all. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to work out perfect. And then now the further we go, the less likely a lot of it's looking. So it's been super stressful, and I kind of just was not even thinking about it anymore. Usually I was like, oh, when's the next one going to be? And I was trying to plan for it. But, after that's just been getting canceled, I'm just kind of just looking forward to whenever we do get started,
I know there's been some videos over on Bassmaster.com, you fishing with your family. And man, you guys were catching some big fish.
Oh, yeah. We had a couple days. My one daughter, she caught I think she caught one that was like 9 and an 8 in the same day. And, she's the one that never likes to fish, but after she caught them, she started keeping score. was whooping up on us all, but, I was impressed. Fishing's been pretty good.
Very nice. Have you seen that, Matt? Have you seen? Yeah, it's really, really, really neat. They did, I think they did like a 2-part series. And, the second part was when she caught one of those big ones, or 2 of the big ones, and she was pretty fired up. So it's got to be cool. It's got to be cool spending time on the water with your family.
Oh yeah. We that's what we've been doing. We've been working on the house, and then getting out as much as we can. And the fish in the backyard are so healthy right now because I've been feeding them. I started feeding them bologna.
What?
And, yeah,
what? Corroded arteries.
I was shocked they were eating bologna, but then the other day I'm like, you know what? Let me try hot dogs. So man, I started feeding them hot dogs, and it's unbelievable
bass
how big they're getting. Yeah.
You know, that's
So-
how the coffee scent in the Strike King, the guy tosses his grounds out and saw the bluegill coming up and attracted to it, so they put it so that we get to have a bologna scented pure fishing Berkeley plastic from John Cox.
Yeah, it's actually a garlic bologna. They love the garlic bologna more than regular bologna. It's really crazy.
A garlic bologna pit boss? Is that coming in the near future?
Right.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I had no idea.
I got a fishing question for John Cox.
Okay.
It's a fishing question that I think a lot of people across this region, because everyone's freaking fishing right now.
Right.
And it's a shallow, muddy water question. So
Right.
we've got the guy right here for shallow, muddy water.
Yeah.
This time of the year, and this is what I have struggled with, John. I've been to like 7 different lakes across Oklahoma over the past 3 or 4 weeks. Little lakes,
Yeah.
1,000, 2,000 acres, all the way up to Grand, big lakes.
Right.
And I feel like they should be spawning. You're like, dude, the water's 60 degrees. It's colored. It should be happening. But you can't like go around and look to see because the clarity's not there because of all the rain we've had there.
Right.
What is your strategy to figure out where they are when they're not like super aggressive where you can't just like go down the bank with a spinner bait and catch them? How do you determine if you are in a pocket that has a lot of spawning fish that you can't see, and then how do you go about catching those fish?
Wow, if I'm not getting any bites, normally I'll attack those pockets. If they're not chasing spinner baits or anything, I usually start with either like a war pig, like a trap style bait. I'll throw that in those pockets just to see if the males or females are sitting out in the centers of them. And then also with like a swing head, like a hard head, with some kind of either a Maxent creature hog or like a bottom hopper, it's like a bigger trick worm looking bait that Berkeley makes, and I'll just reel it out there along the bottom, try to find any kind of hard patches, and then if I get any bites on those baits, then I know that those fish are going to eventually hit those bushes, And I don't know how full the lakes are you're fishing, but what I noticed there, especially on Grand, they didn't really want to go to the bushes until they actually got like water on them, like they were kind of like hanging out in front, and then as soon as those bushes got water, then they decided to spawn, even though the water temp was perfect. It was almost like they were waiting on that water to get more in the bushes to where they were, where they could actually spawn against something.
So it sounds to me like you're going to fish reaction baits and move until you find clues.
Yeah, because you'll find them like out in the middle of those pockets, like a lot of times too. Like I noticed, just thinking of Grand times I've been real early spring. I'll get up in those bushes and stuff, or where there's just a little bit of bushes in the water, and I might catch 1 or 2. Really big, females. But then, you won't really think there's much in that pocket until you get out to the middle of them. You get those bites, you get the males to bite and stuff, and then that pocket's going to really fire off here sooner or later.
There you go.
Somebody on the instant feedback said, here's an idea, a bologna jig trailer. How about that?
Oh yeah. It's kind of like the old Uncle Josh. That was some kind of pork, right?
Yeah, we got into that. Who'd we get into that?
You never fished those. You haven't been around long enough to fish those, have you?
No, I do remember. I think I was like maybe 5 or 6 when like they were like, they quit selling them at Walmart. But
you've never owned one, never used one in a tournament.
No.
Well, maybe you'd catch a few if you went back to the fork, John. Come on.
Hey, a couple people on the instant feedback want to know, do you still keep electronics to a minimum on your boats?
I did I'm running the Bass Hawk on the Elite Series. That one I do have 2 Lowrance 12s, and then I got the 3D structure scan transducer on there and stuff. But I don't have a ton of stuff on there. And then the one, the PT20, I just have 9s. But mostly I'm using them for are the charts. I like for them different mapping and stuff, and use the Lowrance C mapping, and then and then even going back to like the inside on some of them. I just like going back looking at different charts, and then I use my phone a lot too. with different mapping, and that's pretty much the main thing I use it for. I don't really do much idling around or anything.
All right. This is an interesting question from Gary, and I'm going to kind of revise it a little bit. In any discussions that you've had with your sponsors, with the cancellation of ICAST, any idea when your sponsors might be releasing some of their new baits going into 2021? Have you had that discussion?
Yeah, I haven't really heard anything. I know I am. I've been they've been sending me a lot of stuff to test that's going to be new. But I have no idea what the release dates are, and I got a feeling, some of the stuff that was going to get released might get kind of pushed back because I think a lot of people are having a hard time getting, some of the stuff from wherever they're getting it from, getting it and shipping and stuff. So I think everything's going to be a little bit delayed. All
right, boat ramps. Have the boat ramps been crazy around there?
They were really bad on the river, and they shut it down for a few days, and then and then everybody kind of quit going, because everybody was getting in big groups and were parking on sandbars and stuff, and I guess they kind of quit doing that. And they opened them back up, some of them, but I was at one the other day, and I jumped in, and you could see where it was closed before, but it looked like they just unrolled all the stuff that was blocking it. So I'm like, oh great, we can dump in. So we dump in, and we're catching them, and I see this cop with its lights on parked on the boat ramp, and I was like, oh, geez. So we went back over there, and sure enough, he kicked us out, told us we couldn't be there, and he was going to write us like 3 tickets, and it was disaster. He ended up letting us go, and it was crazy, they're locking down some of the places, and they're not even allowed to go dump in, so it's awful.
I went yesterday. They had you like the merry-go-round, but the tilt-a-spin, the deal.
Yeah.
They had that caution taped off.
Oh yeah.
At the boat ramp next to the little. They had they literally had a picnic table with one of those tilt-a-whirl things next to it, and they had caution taped off the picnic table and the little tilt-a-whirl thing.
Yeah, our thing is they're wrapping the playgrounds in like giant plastic wrap. Like you would wrap like a sandwich in or something.
Yeah.
They're like wrapping it around the entire playgrounds. It's the saddest thing you've ever seen.
Wow. Hey man, what's your thoughts? Because so many of these events could get pushed back to the fall. What are your thoughts about fall fishing?
Yeah, I'm probably screwed. No, I'm just kidding. No. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited because it's going to be something new. I honestly, I don't. Every once in a while, I'll catch them really good in a fall tournament or in the late summer. But I'm gonna try just to really survive and get through the rest of the year. And look forward to next spring.
I'm kind of surprised by that.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Do you think you will ever reinvent yourself? Like when John Cox is 60 years old, will he be out there like Randy Haynes on a ledge throwing a deep diving plug with 3 different types of electronics? And I say this seriously. I think of a guy like Matt Herron. Give Matt Herron 10 years ago, did you ever see him talking about spinning rod and drop shotting for smallmouth and how? Hell no. Hell no. Before Biffo created the bug, did you see him dragging long, rocky point? Hell no.
No, that's a great point.
That's
so
true.
Are you a shallow water, stick the rod in the water, I'm going to catch him one way the rest of my career, no matter what? Or do you think there's a chance in the future that John Cox could get out there and go, you know what? This is kind of fun out here. Kind of bobbing the waves. You can see the pretty girls on the jet skis driving through the channel. You can have 5 guys lined up next to each other, chatting with everyone.
Right. It's funny you say that because my plan today is to actually go out and idle on Harris Chain and try to find some offshore grass
really?
Fish. So,
have you ever done that before?
So I hope that's not the case, but man, I'm telling you, it's getting tough, especially with everybody out on the lakes. The shallow bite, if you don't hit them just right, there's just the boat traffic is killing it right now. So, I don't know. I think that's what a lot of those guys do. They've had to adapt to keep going, and that's the main thing. We want to, we all want to just, keep fishing. So, if that's the thing, we have to adapt fish offshore, which sounds awful. We'll just have to figure it out.
It doesn't sound like he's very open-minded, Mark.
No, somebody told me,
no.
and I can't remember who said it, and it was from like 15, 20 years ago. Told me, Mark, there's always fish shallow. No matter what lake you're on, there's always fish shallow. I'm not going out.
Yeah, but you could talk to the 6 other guys and they'll say, Mark, there's always fish deep.
I know.
I don't care what time of the year it is, you can always catch them deep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it seems like I'm always fishing in between. That makes no sense. I'm always in the space where it's like they're there for a day. Why do I never just go shallow or go deep? I know they'll be there. I'm like, let's target that 8 to 14 iffy zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a deep diving crankbait box? Do you have a football jig box? Do you have that stuff even?
No, I mean, I just this year started had the number 5 Fritz side, and I just made a box of them after the Texas tournament.
That only dives like what, 10 feet?
No, that's only a 5-foot runner.
That's your deepest running box.
Yes, that's and then I'll take a war pig and I'll take like a 3/4 ounce war pig and I'll throw it out and I'll let it sink if I need to get any deeper.
No dredgers, no 5XDs, no DT10s, 14s, 18s, no Azumas, none of that.
No.
Do you own a 7/6 cranking rod?
Actually, that's what I throw the Fritz side on.
Okay. Do you own I got 2 of them. But none of the. Okay.
He's got 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I got 2.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
I want to know this in your projects around the house, getting your tackle organized and all that. Is there something that you ran across that you were like, dang, man, I should have had that in the boat. What is it doing still here?
Jeez, who knows? I think every day I found something that I'm like, oh, man, I need this in the boat. And I actually went fishing yesterday, and I had both rod lockers full with stuff. I was like, man, I gotta try that when I get out there. I gotta try. And like I couldn't remember half the stuff I packed in there, and it was a disaster. It made me realize why I pack so light during the tournaments and stuff. Because it's just so hard to make that decision and know what you have. And, but I got tons of stuff I've been dying to try.
So what are a couple items? Give us a couple of bones here.
So I found it's a new worm. It's the power bait, the worm Skeet Reese design. It's called the straight money or whatever. It's a straight tail worm with a little flat tail. It's a little bit stiffer than normal, so it actually I think it's going to stand up really well. So that's one I've been dying to mess with it more. I was doing a live thing in my pond the other day for Crestliner, and I was trying it bed fishing, and I threw it in on a bed, and the fish just instantly inhaled it. And I was like, wow, this could, I was really wanting to get, try that some more, try it out a little bit deeper. And I think it's going to be a really good worm. That's one I'm dying to try. And
old stuff. We want old stuff. We want stuff that's like been in there that's like, oh, I forgot I got this in the late 90s.
I did. All right, so I did. I cleaned out the dresser I had in the garage, and I found a handful of the original buzztail shad, the 4-inch. And I don't know if you guys remember that one, but it's
that's what they all threw before in Florida.
It was Producto made it.
Yeah.
And so that's like what I ended up winning the final day at Red River in 2011 on. And I think it's about there's only 4 of them in the pocket, and it was in this dresser, and I put them. That's what I brought with me the other day. Man, I was just like, I didn't get a chance to throw it, but that was something I was definitely that used to be an awesome bait. I remember they made me buy 5 gallons of plastic to pour that color, and I have had them made it a little bit harder than what the normal buzztails were because it would kick a better bubble, and so it was an awesome worm. That was I haven't thrown that thing in I don't know, probably 7 or 8 years.
Producto.
Wow.
Producto was one of the most underrated plastics. That's what I grew. I started tournament fishing. We had Mike's Tackle World, which has kind of become famous with all their old stuff in Decatur, Illinois. But they had a wall of Producto, and it's all when was the last time you saw? Does it even exist anymore? Do they still make it?
I don't think so.
I mean, I haven't walked in and been like, oh, there's Producto.
Yeah, I haven't been in the place in a while. I think they're still in business. I think they're still pouring a lot of other people's plastics. But I just remember because where they all the molds and stuff were right down the street from my house. I just remember as a kid going in there and just being just blown away by how all the plastics made. And I mean, I didn't even know you could make them just by when you mix the plastic with the hardener, you can make it harder or softer. And I don't know who designed that buzztail shad with the harder plastic, but man, it was an awesome bait.
Yeah, that was one of the plastics. Like they would be like so soft in the middle of the summer.
Yeah,
because that's how I'd throw it. Like you try to put a worm on like that, and the hook would just slice through the worm like butter.
Yeah.
Like you could. It was the only plastic worm that you could cast off.
Right.
Like you put the ribbon tail on, and it's just like, and it just goes, flying off on the side.
You know what was weird is the very first batch round, whatever you want to call it, of the Sluggos were like that. They were super, super soft. And I mean, it was one fish and done. And I remember casting a Sluggo and the thing just coming off.
But don't you agree, though, sometimes, like you just said, softness in plastic is overrated at times?
Right. I know. I think it does matter in some, I don't know. I guess sometimes it would be, like for swim baits, you want the tail to, have more action and stuff. You don't want to be too stiff, but, yeah, I think sometimes the stiffer ones, it just makes a different action, so, yeah, I think it does make a difference sometimes, I guess.
Hey,
I don't know.
John, how important is color in the springtime when it comes to soft plastics?
I'm not a big, I don't really throw like the methylate around as much as I think I should. I saw a lot actually this year at Martin. A lot of guys, I saw a lot of guys catching them on it, and it's kind of like, geez, I want to try that, because I'm always, more natural color. I really like the baby bass general and stuff, and more real neutral colors, and I throw black a lot. Yeah, I'm telling you that some of them guys are using that in like yellows and whites, and they're catching them on it in the springtime. But I just haven't messed with it much, so I'm just kind of sticking with the watermelon seeds and green pumpkins, and that's about it.
All right, man. How many projects you got left around the house?
Oh my gosh, man! I closed in the garage, well, half of the garage. So I got a room in there. All I got to do is tile the floor, and it's done, and do baseboards. And then I started clearing the lake out, and I got probably about 20 brush piles that I cemented up into buckets all in my backyard. Then I'm gonna sink in the lake and work on my deep game.
So there is a chance. There is a chance.
I'm really worried that my neighbors are gonna call the cops on me, so I've been waiting. I'm gonna have to do it at night or something, because I don't think they're gonna be too happy when I'm dropping all those trees out in the middle of the lake.
Well, that's pretty funny.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
I got that, and then I think I'm gonna try to do a dock. I've been researching it a lot, and I think I'm gonna try to build a dock out there. But we'll see.
All right.
He's gonna end up just flipping the dock. He's never gonna crank the trees or deep fish the deep. He's gonna go around his dock and skip underneath it.
Oh, jeez. All right. Hey, Ben wants to know, when do you think targeting fish actually eating and feeding on the baby bass pattern? We've had
back to the baby bass.
Right. Since you mentioned that, what's the scoop on that?
Well, so I watch them a lot, and I think when those fish, when you have your fry garters, guarding the fry, they get to a point to where they have to teach those fish to swim away from other fish, or they're not going to make it. And that's when I see, right before the fry garters usually leave, those males, I think they almost I don't know if they're eating them or if they just look like they're eating them. To try to get them scared, so that they know, hey, don't come near any other big fish, to run from. And, but I don't know. I don't know. I've seen them do that, and I'm like, gosh, they're eating their babies, and I'm not sure if they're eating them or if they're just trying to teach them to run from, to try to scare them off, like, hey, it's time for you guys to go on your own. But I don't know.
Hey, I forgot I have an Instagram question for you from Chris. Chris wants you to. He said there's something about you having to choose between a meatball sub and a rattle trap.
What?
He said.
Oh, he's talking about that. He wants the story from that.
Yeah.
So what happened? I was like, I was completely broke. It was, I think it might have been 2013. I actually couldn't even jump into the tour because I had no money. And my buddy lent me some money. Went to Okeechobee. Finished dead last. Lost all of it. So and then I was like, man, I'm done. I'm just having to quit. I'm gonna owe my buddy $10,000 for the rest of my life. And
Not planning on paying him back.
yeah,
Just a lifelong IOU.
Jeez.
I do that with Jeffries. I
Yeah.
owed him beer for a year. Anyway, continue.
right. But then my buddy was like, hey man, he's like, go to the next one. I'm like, man, it's Lake Hartwell. I don't really know it that well. He's like, just give it a try. So he paid for Hartwell, and I got there, and like I had no money, so I was like, and it was like the day before the tournament started, and I was like, man, I was starving. I was like, man, I think I was gonna buy a sub from meatball sub from Subway, but at that gas station they had a 3/4 ounce trap that I really thought, I was like, man, I'm gonna need this if the wind blows. So I bought the trap and didn't eat that night, and I went in the next day and I smoked them. I was in like second place on that trap after the first day of the tournament.
Wow.
I ended up finishing second. And but man, I just remember that was a rough point because I remember thinking to myself like, man, it was just sad. I was starving, but I was like, man, I know I need that bait to make this thing happen. And luckily, I bought that trap because I smoked them on that thing the next day.
And you had one.
I ended up getting second in that one.
No, but you had one trap.
One trap, yeah, one 3/4 ounce.
What color was it?
Baby bass.
It was actually it was the Foxy Mama Excalibur, I think. It was like a chrome shad color.
Yeah.
3/4 ounce. Yeah, they don't make it no more.
You throw a trap a lot, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Now I started throwing the when Berkeley came out with all the new war pigs. At first I was like, they got a lot of rattle in them. I wasn't sure about them, but yeah, I'm telling you, at the Classic, that's all I threw at the Classic. Yeah. I was smoking them on that thing.
Like, who throws a trap more, do you think, you or Guy Eaker?
Probably Guy.
That's a legit question, is it not?
Wow.
Yeah.
Bojangles, right?
Yeah. Great biscuits.
Yeah, gosh. We don't have any of them down here. It's like as soon as I get into Georgia, I always hit one up.
Great biscuits. I cannot see a pressed pair of black slacks without thinking of Guy Eaker. Doesn't matter where.
Sparkling.
It is. It's like I watch Tiger Woods golf, and I'm like, he's wearing Guy Eaker's pants.
Bojangles, man.
Yeah.
All right. A couple people want to know what you think about line diameter and how much of a difference it makes when you're fishing shallow.
It has a huge. I think it's huge. I like throwing my chatterbaits and stuff on 20-pound fluorocarbon because I like the way it. I feel like it keeps it up a little bit more than it would on like 15. It's not as when you go up the heavier lines, you're not going to get the stretch that you're going to get with the lighter line, so it's not going to be as stretchy. But then and it goes back to though, and then you go to the spinning rod stuff, and I'm throwing a lot of like 10-pound as my leader, and just get more bites. So yeah, I guess it does. It makes a big difference. For sure, fishing shallow. I mean, I guess in dirtier water, not as much, but gosh, we could go into it for days on the different line. But I mean, it does. I mean, you just have to play with a lot of it and see, it all acts a lot different,
So, what knot do you tie when you do braid to fluorocarbon?
So I just used a regular blood knot. That's what Jeremy Stark showed me a long time ago when we were smallmouth fishing out on Champlain. That's when I didn't have any spinning rods, and he was like, "Man, look at this," and he was showing me how to tie it. But I really want to learn that FG knot because it just seems like I hear people casting it, and it just sounds like it shoots through the guide so much better. But it just looks pretty tough on how to tie it though. So
the blood knot is what
that's what I
taught you.
Is that what you showed me?
It's similar to the uni to uni, isn't it?
Yeah, same thing. Yeah,
same thing.
Can you tie the FG knot, Matt?
Yeah, but like I said, what I don't break off at the leader on the uni to uni or the blood, and I don't break off on the hook set on a Palomar. So if I start breaking off or I start breaking off at the leader, then I'll go there and start learning all the fancy origami stuff. Until then, I'm sticking with one that requires 5 wraps on either side, and I'm sticking with one that's an overhand granny knot. That's my I mean, am I wrong there?
No, that's the same way I feel about it. That's why I haven't changed it. Been doing that for the last I don't even know.
Will you Snell braid on a straight shank?
No, I don't like the Snell knot either, because what I feel like the Snell knot does is when you slide the the weight down to your bait, it like makes your bait cockeyed. It's not straight, it's not in line. So that's why I just Palomar it so it's more straight, and I feel like I can get away with less weight to get through the same mats that you would need a heavier weight with the other knot.
Less weight always better than less weight. Least weight you can get away with is always.
That's what I feel.
Always,
yeah,
regardless of time of the year.
That's what I think. I mean, a lot of guys. I don't carry anything over a 1 ounce.
Really?
A lot of guys are 1.5s, and some even go up to 2. What I do, I down my line size, so I'll go to either a 50 or a 40 pound braid, and I'll just tie a regular Palomar knot with a 1 ounce. And you can get that sucker through about anything. So
if you can't get it through with the 1, you ain't getting it through there.
Yeah, I mean the chances of getting them out, you can get even smaller, But you can get a pit boss and a 1 ounce on 40 pound braid, pretty much through anything, I think.
John, what do you think is the most underutilized shallow water bait, lure, however you want to classify it? Most underutilized. In other words, people just don't recognize and realize how good this shallow water lure is.
Oh, geez. Gosh, I don't know. That's a tough one. It probably, geez, I don't even know.
I stumped him. I didn't mean to stump him.
Yeah, I don't even know. I'm trying to think what everybody. I mean, honestly, probably going back to the trap. I've caught him on that trap and. 1.5 foot of water, you put like a 1/4 ounce on and, you're throwing it up there in the dirt, reeling it. And, that might be one that's a lot of people might overlook, thinking that, man, you think of trap, you're thinking out a little bit, throwing it in grass and stuff. And, I like it, especially like in those muddy banks that we were talking about in those pockets where it's only, a foot to 2 feet deep, and just throwing it right up against the bank and cranking it off. And, sometimes you'll see them boil on it and get it. They're so shallow.
Yeah. All right. That's cool. Matt from Minnesota's got a great question. Any interest when everything settles down to maybe fishing 3 tours with the NPFL?
Right. Yeah. I'd love to go. Yeah, I've fished as many as I could, but, we'll see. I think we're gonna, go pretty late in the season this year, so it's gonna be exciting.
It's only 6 more, and they're spreading them out.
I know.
2 in the spring, 2 in the summer, 2 in the fall.
Right.
If you could talk Berkeley into wrapping a helicopter,
right,
that would be awesome.
Right. That'd be something.
The Coxmobile. He just choppers you from event to event. You fish a third of the day at each tournament.
Wow. All right, man. Anything else on your agenda for the remainder of this break? Hopefully you guys are fishing sometime in May, maybe June. But is there anything that you really need to get done, John, fishing wise?
Gosh, not really. I mean, I'm just spending as much time with the kids as I can. And I'm telling you, it's my hat's off to their teachers, because now that we're having to be their teachers and do their online work and stuff, it is so tough. Like it's unbelievable. But yeah, I don't really have nothing. Probably the most I need to get a haircut. My hair is out of control. Look at this.
Wow, flowing locks there.
I have an afro growing for sure. But
that kind of got a Guy Fieri look to it.
Wow, so, that was flow.
Yeah,
I know. So I'm looking forward to getting a haircut.
Mid-2000s Velvic.
Yeah, that was he had some flow going there. All right, John, man, greatly appreciate you taking time out, and love the meatball story. That was
that was
a
Chris on
great,
Instagram said, "Hey, make sure to ask him that."
Yeah.
I'm not sure who he is, but I forgot to ask Shaw Grigsby. He was like, ask Shaw Grigsby about the 20-pound sight fish that he was never able to get to bite, and I forgot to ask him about that.
Yeah.
But I got into
the meatball for the rattle trap. Very cool. All right, John, man, take care. Be safe with the family, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. See you guys.
All right. See ya. There you have it, folks. John Cox and some really, really good stuff there. Wow. Let's see here. I'm hungry, but I think I'm going to need that rattle trap.
In all honesty.
And then he goes out and smashes them.
A meatball sub does sound really good. Like, really good right now.
Well, you can venture out. I think Subway's still open here in Oklahoma.
I ain't going in there.
What? Are you afraid?
Not going to go into the Subway.
Why not?
I'll go to another sub sandwich spot with a drive-thru. Subways, some of them have drive-thrus.
Jimmy John's.
Yeah.
Jimmy John's has a drive-thru.
Do they have a sub?
I think they have a meatball sub. I'm not sure.
That's
not on my diet anymore, so I have no idea. Do you realize I haven't had a hamburger since, or a cheeseburger since my heart attack?
Yeah, well, you made up for it from 2011 to 2013, so...
I had some patties stockpiled in there.
Hamburger patties than the average man consumes in his entire lifetime.
Anyway, I want to thank John once again for taking time out. All right, I want to remind everybody tomorrow.
No meatball subs at Jimmy John's.
Brent Ayler. Oh, they do not?
No, not according to Rich.
I'm shocked. Wow, interesting. All right, Brent Ayler tomorrow. Then we'll kick the week off. Randy Blockett, Tim Horton, Boyd Duckett, and then I'm working on stuff for Thursday and Friday.
Head over to the BTL YouTube channel if you're already on it. Watching the replay, it should be right there with it. The one-on-one with Jeff Creep from Lake Murray. It's a barn burner, folks. It comes down to ounces. Big thanks to Jeff for doing that. It's fun. It's fun doing these series.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to tease something. I'm going to throw this out there real quick. I am working on something. I think it's okay. I think it's kind of cool. It is a very creative way to give something back to the BTL fans, Matthew. And what I'm going to give back, what we are going to give back, that is in the works, but it's definitely going to be a cool deal. It's going to be a special BTL show that we do in the evening, of which we'll have some viewer engagement and prizes. How about that? That's the tease.
Sounds fun.
So hopefully, not next week, but maybe the week after, we will roll that out. It's just a one-time deal. Kind of a cool way to give back to all the fans and some of the new fans that we had
sounds great.
Over the break.
Do you not feel like even though he doesn't throw deep diving crankbaits, he would at least have like just a box of them laying around? Like someone would be like, hey, here's a since he spots right, here's a bunch of dredgers. Here's a bunch of, and then he just is like, I better throw these in the box just in case. He's like, no, I don't even have any of that.
Travel's light.
Like 90% of my tackle is stuff that I'm like, I will not be using this, but just in case, I'm going to have an immaculate box with 70 of them.
Yeah. That'd be a good Instagram
What box
account.
is that
just
for you?
In case.
What is that? What box is that for you that always, you can tell if you use it or not. Here's the deal, folks. And I know we're out of time.
No, we're good.
You can tell what type of fisherman you are by when you organize everything. If the next year when you go to organize it, or the next time you go to organize your tackle and you open up that box and go, oh, this doesn't need to get organized.
Yeah.
You don't throw that stuff.
Yeah. Just in case. My just in case box, probably 4-inch soft plastic swim baits. Just in case.
That's a horrible box to be laying around for a year or two, though, because those things have to be tuned perfectly. You got a bunch of wonky swimming baits now.
No, I strategically place them in there to where that doesn't happen. Okay. That's my just-in-case box.
That's crazy.
I've
That's
never
like
used
the
it.
most go-to box for everyone else. It's like the easiest catch fish on bait.
That's my just-in-case. All right, folks. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. Also, please give us a review. It helps us out immensely, especially in these very challenging times, to give us a rating and do a review on iTunes. Please, if you're listening to us on iTunes, we would greatly appreciate you taking just a few minutes and writing a review for us. All right, that's it. Another great week. Next week, another jam-packed week here on BTL. Everybody be safe. That's it. We're out of here.